So the level of difficulty, when you look at lifting, training in the gym and lifting weights compared to something like mixed martial arts is actually insane. To me, I've been lifting weights for over 10 years. Over a decade, I've been in the gym, familiarized myself with all the movements, all the different things you can do in the gym. And it's so familiar to me. It's so easy for me. To the point when someone says they're struggling with the gym, I can't grasp it. In my mind, it's like it's so obvious. It's like, how can you struggle with the gym? It's so simple. The movements are so simple. It's so straightforward. The way you nail down your technique is just so straightforward. It's common sense, just understanding the physiology and the anatomy of how the body works and how it moves, the biomechanics and all these things. All of these things in my mind are just so straightforward and so obvious and basic because I've done it for so long. I don't have to use a single brain cell when I'm in the gym. Everything is on autopilot. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to break down my body. I know exactly how to build muscle. I know exactly how to train, how to push my limits, and what to do in the gym. But then you have something like mixed martial arts. Now, this is difficult for me. I haven't done it seriously at all. Like, I've done it a little bit. I've done some sessions. I've done like one private one-on-one session at Super Pro Samui here in Thailand. But I've also done like 2 kickboxing sessions back in Sweden. And obviously I've done a lot of bag work. But I still find it extremely difficult. Like just nailing down the technique, the hip movements, the way to jab, the way to cross, the way to throw hooks, the way to throw knees, elbows, all these things, I find them incredibly difficult. Couple that with the balance, the coordination, the cardio, the endurance, it is so fucking difficult. So for me, I find the gym to be super obvious, and I haven't been able to understand how some people find it difficult. But right now, I understand and I get it. Because the way I feel about training is how someone feels about the gym, the way I feel about the gym, right? So I feel that the gym is the most simple thing in the world. And someone out there feels the same way about Muay Thai. They feel like Muay Thai and MMA as a whole is the simplest thing in the world. And then you have me who feels like it's the most difficult thing in the world because it's so complex in my eyes. So I get why people can get overwhelmed in the gym and not really know how to approach it. I feel the same way with Muay Thai and MMA. Like I didn't understand it before getting into fighting, but right now that I've like eased my way into it and started doing more and more fighting, I kind of get it. It makes sense and I understand. Because to me, fighting and MMA is so difficult and it's something that I genuinely want to get better at and that I'm going to prioritize so much moving forward for the rest of the year and onwards, right? So just the level of difficulty in my eyes, how difficult, how much more difficult fighting is compared to lifting is beyond me. But I genuinely believe that fighting is extremely important. I've started prioritizing it because I understand that, lifting weights can be super monotone. I'm not saying I will quit lifting weights. Lifting weights is still incredibly important. You should still train your muscles, get stronger, build more muscle, and all that kind of stuff. However, I think it's extremely monotone, and I think the ROI from training, like from lifting weights compared to doing fighting, is, it's light years in difference. I feel like you get way more out of fighting as a whole from your body than you get out of lifting. With lifting, what you get is, bigger muscles, stronger bones, joints, and all that kind of stuff, which is extremely important. You make your body more durable, you make your body stronger. However, with fighting, you get better balance, you get better coordination, you get better cardio, you get better endurance, you become more dangerous, you become more healthy, and you just become more of a man, in my opinion. Because a man who can fight, who can really use his body to inflict damage, is in my eyes like a real man. Like that's what a man should be able to do. Being able to take your body and use it as a lethal weapon without any additional weapons, without using knives or, you know, swords, weapons, or anything like that. Nothing, just your body, just your kicks, your fists, all of these things. I find that to be super fascinating, that one's body can become a lethal weapon. With the gym, like, it's just, obviously you get stronger, you get bigger muscles, but you don't become a better fighter through the gym. There's a lot of buff guys who can't fight for shit. A lot of guys that have a lot of muscle, but they can't fight for shit. They don't have the cardio, and they'd fucking get annihilated in a fight. Just look at someone like Bradley Martin. He brags all the time about how he'd be able to beat down fighters, you know, UFC fighters that are pretty much half of his weight or whatever. And he has a chance to do it because of the weight difference. However, he can't fight. Let's be real. That's not a guy who can fight. Bradley Martin is huge. He's strong as fuck. But he's not a fighter. Obviously, if he grabs a hold of you because of his size, he's going to kill you. But he doesn't know how to fight. So, like, if it came down to it, if someone his size, like, let's say a heavyweight at the UFC, obviously they don't weigh 260 as far as I'm concerned. They're a little lighter than 260. They're around 210, 220 to 250, as far as I know, at least. And they're not as heavy as someone like Bradley Martin, but they'd kill him in a fight still. They'd kill him. Like, there's no contest. If you put Bradley Martin in the same room as someone like John Jones, he would kill Bradley Martin. That's just how it is. And that's what I find fascinating about fighting. I don't believe we human beings are meant to have a fuck ton of muscle on our frame. We should still have muscle because it does look good, and it never hurts to have some muscle. But to look like a bodybuilder is not useful. You're very unflexible. You're just not super healthy, in my opinion. Your cardio is most likely going to be shit because a lot of bodybuilders, their cardio is just not good. They can't move. They're not athletic whatsoever. So in my opinion, like, I've been focusing too much on weightlifting, and that's why I'm so good at weightlifting. I just know exactly how to approach the gym. But I've neglected something like fighting that I find to be way more important than lifting weights, in my opinion. I still think you should do both. You shouldn't do one or the other, but if I had to choose, I would say fighting is more important. Obviously, it's very tempting to lift weights all the time because it improves the way you look more than fighting does. But fighting, you know, it makes you so lethal, and I think that's super important as a man. You should have that lethal fighting ability. You should be able to kill someone if the situation demands it. If you have to protect yourself or someone you love or whatever, I think you need to have that fighting ability. So, yeah, I just find it fascinating how easy the gym is for me as opposed to fighting. But I've also realized that fighting, in my eyes, is much more important. Doing both is still the optimal way to approach things. But I will focus much more on fighting moving forward because I genuinely believe it's one of those things that every man should be able to do. It's incredibly important. And if you're in the same boat watching this, you're a man and you're only prioritizing fighting, I urge you to, you know, start doing you're only prioritizing lifting. I don't know if I said fighting, but I mean lifting. Then I urge you to prioritize fighting as well. Like, put that into your schedule, fit that into your schedule. It's extremely important. The ROI is going to be absolutely insane. The cardio you get out of it, the athleticism, the explosiveness, just the overall fitness that you get out of fighting is incredible. So do not neglect your fighting, guys. It's extremely important. Don't be like me who, you know, put that to the side for so long. You need to fight. You need to improve your fighting ability. It's extremely important. And that's what I've come to realize. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And as always, I'll see you next time. Cheers.